Hello, welcome to a SoLab PXRD sample prep tutorial. So our first step is to get out all of the materials you're going to need. So your sample, some glass slides, a pipette, ethanol, chem wipes, and a mortar and pestle, as well as tape. So first we're going to pour off some ethanol, and this is going to be used to clean the glass slide as well as to make the paste. So we're going to want to get out a glass slide and set that out, and then get some of our ethanol out. So we're going to use a micropipette for this, or a regular pipette can work as well since we aren't using very precise volumes. But you want to dispense about 50 microliters of ethanol solution onto the glass slide, and then we're going to want to get a chem wipe out. And this chem wipe, you're just going to want to rub that ethanol in to get any residue off and make sure that the glass slide is nice and clean and ready to go. Then we're going to let this glass slide dry for about 5 to 10 minutes to make sure that the tape will stick well. So for the tape, we want to tape off about 1 inch on one side. This is where you're going to be able to hold the sample from. And then your sample will go in the middle here. Then we're going to want another piece of tape on the bottom to mask out the bottom where the sample slides into the sample holder in the instrument. So we just have about 1.5 centimeters of space between the two pieces of tape, and that's where our sample is going to go. Now we can weigh out our sample. We use about 50 milligrams for this, and this 50 milligrams is then going to be taken over to our mortar and pestle, and we want to grind this into a really fine powder. The finer the better, so spend a few minutes doing this, getting it nice and fine. If you still have big chunks, it's going to be really hard to get a nice, smooth, even surface. So really take your time with this step. It'll make the next step much easier. So now we want to add a few drops of ethanol, and this is going to form a paste when we add the powdered sample. So start adding your sample. You don't need to add all 50 milligrams. We just want to grind up enough to make sure that we can cover the whole area. And then you want to start spreading that sample into the ethanol and really mix them together as well as possible to make a nice homogeneous paste. And then you want good coverage of the sample area. So it's going to start out really clumpy, and you want to kind of spread those clumps out as best as you can to get nice even coverage of the sample area. And this took several minutes, and so I've just sped it up for time. So just keep playing with those little areas that are bare or clumpy or patchy, and just spread it out into a nice thin even layer. Then we're going to leave this to dry for at least 10 to 15 minutes or longer if it needs it. And then once it's nice and dry, we can come back and peel the tape off. So it's been about 20 minutes, and now we can come back and peel the tape off. Be nice and gentle with this, and you don't want to touch the area with your sample on it. You want to leave that nice and pristine. And then once you've peeled the tape off, your sample is ready to go. So you'll mount that larger bare side in the bottom and then hold it by the top, and you're ready to go.